Hello, everybody. William here, owner of exclusiveannuities.com. Make sure you check out our website, exclusiveannuities.com, YouTube, Facebook, Google, 5 stars on Google. More than happy to bring another educational video to you today. And today, what I'll be really highlighting is a pretty big point of concern for most people that are considering annuities. And I felt like it was necessary to make this video because I'm sure you're wondering about surrender fees, what it's going to cost you to get out of your annuity if you want to, for whatever reason, get out of the contract. And just knowing all of your options when you look at annuities, making sure that if you're sitting with an advisory, right, they're not just showing you one or two options, they're putting everything on the table for you so you can pick and choose and go through those contracts with them. That's what we specialize in, doing a full custom report strategy for you. We put together retirement analyzers, go through actuarial data with you to show you why an annuity sometimes or most of the time makes sense when you're in the distribution or the decumulation phase. And today I'm going to be bringing up a very important concept for people that might be a little worried about getting into an annuity and want to look at contracts where they potentially can get out of it with no problem. Now, we're never going to put you in an annuity that maybe you would want to get out of, because if we put you in an annuity and you also agree that it's the right fit, then it's going to do the job that we specified for it to do during whatever contract term that we enter, right, together, because we go through that process with you, and that's all we specialize in is fixed and fixed index annuities, which is a big deal when you're looking at annuities. Dealing with a firm that just does that, just specializes in one niche, one area of expertise, and that's what we are, and that's who we are, right? So first and foremost, you can always go to our website, exclusiveannuities.com. Feel free to schedule a call with us, a meeting, get an educational session in with us. Be more than happy to answer any questions you have, or dive through different material, right? You can always go through here. Here's myself, William, owner and president. There is Brady Pelzer, executive vice president. Patrick Esposito, senior advisor, and also Dylan Banks, senior advisor as well. Now, always check us out on Facebook. I always like to mention you always want to check out the group you're working with. With us, we're 100% public. We post a lot of content all over Facebook. It's a public page. You can see the awards that we get. Go through our review tab. We're 100% recommended here. And a lot of videos all on YouTube as well, which I'm sure that's where you're watching this video from. Feel free to go through that, right? Review channel, 100% recommended, right? Go through the different reviews. Also 5 stars on Google. Always check us out on Google. And more than happy to sit with you and go through these big decisions together. Now, our YouTube channel is packed with content, educational content. Make sure that you watch the one I just uploaded. What's an S&P 500 trigger? Just recorded that a couple minutes ago and uploaded it. Other videos that me and my business partners also record and put up here, again, for the general public, for you to go through, watch, learn, ask questions, and things like that, so you understand exactly what it is that you need to do when it comes to your fixed income, your safe money bucket in retirement, minimizing risk, and entering a contract that's going to do the specified job that you needed to do during retirement. Now, everybody's asking, how long's the term? How much does it cost if I want to get out of it? Very important topic, especially for our higher net worth individuals that come through our meetings and want to meet with us. A lot of people don't know these type of contracts exist, right? And what it is it's called a return of premium, right? Not in most annuity contracts, but if this is something that you need your annuity to do, maybe it's a good idea for you to look at this one. Now, I'm not going to be bringing up different company names and different product names like I normally do on most of my videos, but today I want to jump into this one. It's a return of premium. Very interesting concept, because essentially what happens is when you enter the contract, right? Here's an example. A little blurry, but it will do. Here's an example of $1 million going in. Now, this is the guaranteed ledger. Okay, so here we're showing no growth inside of the annuity, which is something that we do show you, because if you're going into an index annuity, unless you're allocating to the fixed bucket, they can't guarantee that the indexes are going to perform, right? Index annuity means you have upside growth potential if the overall index market is doing well, right? You can get returns similar to whatever the index does return that given year if you're in an annual point-to-point crediting method, right? And those are things we go through with you, show you how those work, different indices we like to use. Again, no risk to principal in those contracts. Anything that we show you will have no risk, no market exposure, okay? So take a look at this contract. This is the guaranteed ledger. So every time you go through an illustration, any company or product, they're always going to show you the worst case scenario, right? Which is often called the guaranteed ledger. And then they'll show you the hypothetical, right? Which is the 10-year look back or the 20-year look back on performance of the indices that you chose to illustrate inside of the specified product. But for this purpose, right, we're going to look at the guaranteed ledger inside of this one, right? And what you notice is the $1 million goes in, right? Now, typically in most annuity contracts, your account value will start at the million, right? Whatever you put in. Some contracts have a premium bonus, so if you hear someone say, "Oh, buy this annuity has a 20% premium bonus," sometimes it fits, sometimes it doesn't. It's specific cases usually where it does make sense, but never buy an annuity strictly for the premium bonus. What that means, it's front loaded, it's just part of the contract. And typically, some carriers not, some carriers yes, but typically that means the growth potential on the back end will be a little less. When you take a bonus, again, that's only for certain bonus contracts. We identify those. So if you're curious on how those fundamentals work, definitely schedule a call with us. But let's look at this one. No bonus. Client puts $1 million in, right? $1 million account value. Now they can get interest every year, right? In this example, it's a cap strategy up to 8%. So they can get up to 8% growth a year, no risk to principal. But if you notice, the return of premium surrender value, they put $1 million in. The annuity carrier made their surrender value $1 million on day one, meaning that God forbid they wanted to exit the contract in 8 months. This is a 10-year product, right? So what I'm showing you is a 10-year chassis. So typically there would be a surrender schedule there, right? Most illustrations you look at, you put $1 million in and your surrender value on the year one would be like $930,000 or $920,000, right? Depending on the surrender charge schedule, which every annuity contract has, right? Outside of that, you usually get 10% free withdrawals in these annuities. So if you have $1 million in there, you could take out $100,000, right? Some contracts allow for 20% if you skip a year, and so on and so forth. Again, the video is not about that. It's about this. The surrender value is even to your premium on day one, right? Now, what they do is they compound the premium, compound your initial premiums by 2.8% every year, regardless of index performance. So if you get in this annuity, right, index annuity, you can get up to 8% a year, but let's just say we get 0 for 10 years in a row. Your walkaway value at year 10 is 1.3 million plus, right? Even though the accumulated value is $1 million, we got no growth. And if you decide to exit the contract, you get all your money back. It's called a return of premium, okay? Many advisors are not mentioning or showing these type of annuities. And there's specified contracts on the market that you can utilize that have this feature. Again, exclusiveinnuities.com if you want to schedule a meeting with us and get a customized report, or if you have questions on this specific product or other products that we might consider for you, depending on what we feel like would be best suited for you. And that's that, right? So that's the return of premium. I like to show that. And that's the guaranteed ledger. Now, if you look at the hypothetical, right? Hypothetical is up to 8% a year. So account value starts at $1 million. First year they got $80,000. It hit the cap of 8%. The index is what up. Compound interest on top of compound interest, 10% free withdrawals every year. And by year 10, right, they're out of the contract, 1.8 million, right, left in account value. Now, again, I wasn't making the video to show you the hypothetical ledger. I was making the video to show you the guaranteed ledger, how strong that back end contractual guarantee is, right? Here is like the most recent, the worst 10-year period, the last 10-year period. They're always going to have versions of this that you can look at, right? Again, I'm not here to make this video wasn't specifically around best case scenario, it was around worst case scenario. This is more for people that are like curious about annuities, maybe want to buy one, but the surrender charge, everyone always talks about, scaring people not to get into annuities. Listen, annuities work. They do the specified purpose, right? They minimize risk. They allow you to grow your money. You have access to your money as long as you can stay within your free withdrawal provision. The only other thing is the surrender window, which is why you don't put all your money in an annuity. But it's a good bond alternative. It's a good safe income type of alternative, right? And they work, preferably we like to use A or A plus and up companies, and that's how we do things at Exclusive Annuities. But again, we were wanted to show you the guaranteed ledger. There are contracts that exist like this on the market. And so it's very important for you to understand these things as you go into the decision-making process. And we're here to help you navigate that, right? We're here to help you navigate the decision-making process. And right there, it's called a return of premiums. Not in every contract, it's in specific contracts that we identify, and we like to show those to our clients. So again, my name is William. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, like, subscribe, share the content. ExclusiveAnnuities.com if you're looking for a custom advisor or advisory to work with you hands-on, really help you develop a solid strategy for phase 2. Decumulation phase, distribution phase, we got you covered. ExclusiveAnnuities.com. Thank you for tuning in today. Like, comment, subscribe, share, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.